Hi everyone, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Hope you guys are keeping well. This is the Honor View 20. This is my review. Now I've had this just come up to 5 weeks, so I haven't rushed into this. I have done separate reviews covering the camera in a lot of detail. That's about 13 minutes long, and also a specific audio review. But like everything, when you actually use a phone for a longer period of time, you start to pick up on things that you don't get after just using it for a few weeks. So I'm going to run through my 10 key things about this phone that I picked up. I've used this fully. I haven't had any other phone. This is what I've been using for the last 5 weeks. So just quickly, just doing the quick intro here. It's got a 48 megapixel Sony sensor with a 3D time of flight sensor and a flash. It's 25 megapixel sensor on the front, and it has this little eye cut out in the corner, so there's no sort of notch in the middle, just this little punch eye hole on the left side there, which is quite good. It has headphone jack here, you know, I can't say how useful that is, IR blaster, USB Type-C and a single firing loudspeaker. Now this does have the latest Kirin 980 processor, so it's got the best that Huawei produced. That's based on a 7nm basis, and as you probably realise, this is blue. So when I first did my earlier videos, I had the black finish, and that was a loan device, but I've been so impressed with the loan device I actually got my own version, and this is Phantom Blue. I could only get the Phantom Blue, which is 256 gig storage and 8 gig of RAM, and at a very low price point overall, still high, but at $579, but pretty good. But if you only need 128 gig storage, you can pick it up for $499. This does have dual 4G, it's Android 9 Pie, but that's sort of the intro. That's some of the sort of bits of the positives. So what's missing? What doesn't it have? There's no official IP rating, so that is one of those things, something to be wary of if you're going to go out in heavy rain and use it. It doesn't have an official IP rating. That's the way it goes. Despite this fancy back, there's no wireless charging. For some, yeah, I quite like wireless charging, but we'll come to that in a minute when I talk about the battery. There's no stereo speakers, just a front bottom firing speaker. I'll talk about the speaker in a bit more depth. Sunlight readability, yes you can, but it's not the brightest screen I've seen. Not like some of the Samsung phones, which are extremely bright. So if you're wearing, I've got my glasses here, polarized sunglasses, when you hold it that way up in portrait, you can see the screen. Turn it into landscape, it's a black screen, you can't see it if you're wearing polarized glasses. The screen is good, it's IPS, I've watched movies on it, all sorts of stuff, but there are much better screens, but then the phones cost twice as much. So there we go. So what's this like in real life? I'm going to talk about actually using it for the last month in real life. You might have noticed some grubby finger marks. It does come with a pre-installed screen protector. I do intend to take that off and find a nice glass one, not have this plastic on top. I don't like that. And there is NFC, in case you're wondering as well. So, EMUI, what's it like? Well, EMUI version 9, which is, this has the Magic, as they call it. On the phones have Magic. The Magic UI is identical to EMUI that you find on the Huawei phones, to be honest. Based on Android Pie, Android 9, which is good. Fast processor, and really like it. So some of the nice things that you have with the Magic UI is gestures, so you can go back to home, you go back using the swipes on gestures. They work very well. Also, you have other options. You can have the traditional 3-key menu, or you can bring down another option on that bottom 3 keys for the menu items to drop down the notifications. But you can use the fingerprint sensor and turn that on like so, to move the notifications. I don't know if you can see, like so. You can move them up and down. Really nice and easy to do that. You also have a floating button if you just want the, if you like more one-handed use, and having a floating home button and back button that works really well. Huawei Share, which is great for moving documents across from other Huawei and Honor phones to each other, but also from your computer. It's very fast. It's like AirDrop that Apple have, Huawei have copied that. You've got usual things: eye comfort, screen recorder, screenshot, wireless protection, desktop mode, one-handed mode. They all work really well on this. So the hardware, as I said, I did have the black. This is, I mean, in real life, I just love this. It feels such a premium device. Can't tell you how premium it feels. Really, really love it. And you can't go wrong with this colour. I was going to get black, didn't have black, only had the blue, but I'm so pleased I got the blue. It does come with a free case. It's cheap, little case, but better to have the case than not. So some of the things that I want to talk about, which I've really come across to really appreciate, is obviously the hardware. So it always feels premium when you hold this. Battery. This, I think, is one of the best phones I've ever had for battery. Complete reassurance. You can probably get 2 days on this. If you're a really massive power user like me, you'll get a day absolutely no issue, no problem, no matter what type of day. And I mean, I've done a post on my website, gavinsgadgets.com, where I went to London, started really early on a long distance train up to London. I watched a movie, I was doing messaging, the phone kept its signal. That was just something else. In a very weak signal on this particular train line, this phone kept it. So what is the battery life? Well, people say it's different if you're on 4G to Wi-Fi, and I totally agree. So if you're on cellular signal, no Wi-Fi, you're going to get minimum 6 hours screen on time. That's a whole day in anybody's book. And that's not a 12-hour day. That's probably going from 6 AM to midnight. You'll have that working. I always have Bluetooth on, Wi-Fi on, GPS on high. I've got a fitness band, all these things in all my email accounts. I'm probably on every single social media platform. I've got everything working perfectly on here. And some people have left some comments. What about notifications? Have you had all apps showing notifications? Out of the box, yes, I haven't had to tweak a single thing. Just works really well. So on battery, what about when you are at home? Perhaps you've got a mixture of, you're in the office using Wi-Fi. You're going to get 8 hours, no problem. In fact, I've had a few days when it's been longer, been like 9 hours screen on time. But again, it's a whole day and it's really good. It does come with the supercharged brick. I've only used it once, but it's blisteringly fast to watch. So should you forget to charge it and you've only got 10-15 minutes, your battery's really low, it will knock some charge into that and get you through the day, not a problem. Other little things that you begin to appreciate is having the infrared blaster. So suddenly you think, damn, I'm sitting down and my TV's on, and what am I going to do about this? I've remotes up there, hang on, fire up the smart remote app, put the name, brand on my TV, and before you know it, you haven't need to get up and you're controlling the TV. It could be anything, it could be an air conditioner, DVD player, but it has the built-in infrared blaster. And the other thing is the headphone jack at the top here. Yes, it's got Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth is really good. It's Bluetooth 5, has all the codecs you expect, high-res codecs as well. But you can't get over having the headphone jack. It is convenient. I'm sure you've got old wired headphones lying around, and also some of the really good wired headphones that were classics have come down in price massively. So you can buy like a pair of AKG K702s. They're probably a bit hard to drive using an amp, but the AKG's K92s are pretty good, really good actually with this. They're closed, they're about 40 quid now. You can put some Sennheiser HG598s in here, 50 ohms, no problem. So this just shines, and in fact if you use efficient headphones from Sennheiser or some of the Fios, they really shine. It has the Huawei sound effects, which is all the different modes and everything to get the best out of headphones. I did a separate audio review so it shows all what you get there. But it's great, it's got a headphone jack that's actually really good. And on Bluetooth, it shines again. You don't get lip sync issues where the voices are out of sync, because it's a fast Bluetooth 5, and if you've got the right headphones to go with it, you'll have no problems there. The speaker on the bottom is a nice sounding speaker with good depth to it, but it's just one speaker, not stereo. And yeah, I do like stereo speakers that you can get on other devices like the iPhone, like the Note 9, the Pixel 3 XL for example, but it's still very good. It's not a tinny speaker, that's the key thing, and it's very, very good. So, camera. This is what makes this device a killer device, the camera. One word, it's bloody awesome. Bloody awesome. Really good. Surprised me big time. So to prove that, I've got a photo gallery coming up with about 40 odd photos. And if you need to know about all the camera modes, there are loads and loads. I've done a separate camera review. You can just scroll back a few videos and you'll see it there. It's about 13 minutes long and it goes through into everything to a lot of detail. The weird part is that at 30 frames per second, either in 4K or 1080p, you've got great stabilization and good video. But at 60 frames per second at 1080p, you've got no stabilization. A bit odd, but that's the way it is. And it doesn't have 4K 60 frames per second either. I don't think many people will miss that. The nice thing what it does have to compensate is some of the video AI modes, like the colour pop where it keeps the people in colour, everything in black and white. You've got a video portrait mode, which is pretty weird, but it works and it's pretty nice. You do have 960 frames per second at 720p and super slow motion at good resolution at 1080p, but only 120 frames per second. So that's it. This thing shines. And at its price point, I think it's a real winner. Anyway, sit back, enjoy the photos that are coming up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video, which is really soon. Bye for now, enjoy these photos.